21 past the hour. Back to Parma, Ohio. President Obama now details how Boehner and the neoconservatives have no new ideas on how to repair the economy their party helped destroy.
A few weeks ago, the Republican leader of the House came here to Cleveland and offered his party's answer to our economic challenges. Now, it would be one thing if he had admitted his party's mistakes during the 8 years that they were in power, if they had gone off for a while and meditated and come back and offered a credible new approach to solving our country's problems. But that's not what happened. There were no new policies from Mr. Boehner. There were no new ideas. There was just the same philosophy that we had already tried during the decade that they were in power. The same philosophy that led to this mess in the first place. Cut more taxes for millionaires and cut more rules for corporations. Instead of coming together, like past generations did, to build a better country for our children and grandchildren. Their argument is that we should let insurance companies go back to denying care for folks who are sick. Or let credit card companies go back to raising rates without any reason. Instead of setting our sights higher, they're asking us to settle for a status quo of stagnant growth and eroding competitiveness and a shrinking middle class.
Well, that's right, Mr. President. That's exactly what they're trying to do, because the Republicans are the handmaidens of the fascist class in this country that has been struggling to take over this country since the 30s, probably since before then. There is not, Americans do not have memory beyond a week, but there is institutional memory, especially where it concerns the fascists. The fascists have been trying. We are in the 85th year. You know, the ones who originally started it aren't even alive anymore. It's their grandchildren and great-grandchildren who are trying to fulfill great-granddad and great-great-granddad's idea of turning this country into a serf state. And I don't mean anything having to do with the Beach Boys. A serf, S-E-R-F, state, where the corporate capitalists run everything. The serfs go to work, they shut up, they take their $2.50 an hour and be damn happy to get it, while corporate capitalist America continues to do what it has always done. Let's, we got time for this one? I think we do. Obama explains his plan for recovery.
Instead of tax loopholes that incentivize investment in overseas jobs, I'm proposing a more generous, permanent extension of the tax credit that goes to companies for all the research and innovation they do right here in Ohio, right here in the United States of America.
But you're a Kenyan!
And I'm proposing that all American businesses should be allowed to write off all the investment they do in 2011.
Communism!
To most of you, I'll bet this just seems like common sense.
No, it's
but not to Mr. Boehner and his allies.
It's Muslim stuff.
For years, Republicans have fought to keep these corporate loopholes open. In fact, when Mr. Boehner was here in Cleveland, he attacked us for closing a few of these loopholes and using the money to help states like Ohio keep hundreds of thousands of teachers and cops and firefighters on the job.
See, that's just
Mr. Boehner dismissed these jobs we saved, teaching our kids, patrolling our streets, rushing into burning buildings.
That's commie stuff.
As, quote, government jobs.
Commie stuff.
Jobs, I guess, he thought just weren't worth saving.
Well.
And I couldn't disagree more. I think teachers and police officers and firefighters are part of what keeps America strong. And Ohio, I think if we're going to give tax breaks to companies, they should go to companies that create jobs here in America, not that create jobs overseas. That's one difference between the Republican vision and the Democratic vision. That's what this election is all about.
Ow! Oh, well, John Boehner is just getting his orange ass dragged all over this auditorium, isn't he? Well, it's about time, Mr. President, regardless of whether I support your policies where it concerns your wars, whether I support your policies where it concerns surveillance on American citizens, whether I support your policies where it concerns the promises you broke about the human rights violations and war crimes committed by the previous administration. I got to give you credit. You sure know how to kick John Boehner's orange ass when you finally decide to do it. And to tell the truth here about, well, as far as you're going. You're leaving out a lot, but that's okay. This is a campaign speech to try to keep the Democrats in power, which I don't think is going to be any problem. Not really. We'll be back after the break. We have a couple more for you. Stay with us. I'm Mike Malloy.